Mac versus PC, an epic battle that has been going on since the very first computers were sold to the general public. Now don't get me wrong, PCs are great, but personally, I think Macs are just an all-around better computer. Today I'm going to try and persuade you to switch sides from a PC user to a Mac user, or if you're already a Mac user, I'm going to reinforce a decision on why you bought a Mac. I'm going to talk to you about why they make better laptops, why their computers are all around better, why their operating system is so much better, and then I'm going to give you a couple reasons, practical reasons, on why you would want to get a Mac. Let's start by talking about their laptops. Comparing a Mac laptop is like comparing football to baseball. There's just no comparison. First off, a Mac laptop is built a lot more heavily and strongly than any PC laptop out there. The MacBook Pro, for instance, its body is made from a solid milled piece of high-strength aluminum. I don't know of any other laptops out there that are made from this type of construction, and that's just a ridiculous thought, like a laptop made from an entire piece of milled aluminum. The internals, also of a Mac laptop, they're a lot the same as a PC, but just because of the operating system, it's going to run a lot more smoothly than any PC laptop you can buy out there. Mac laptops, if you were to go buy one in the store today, have what they call their Snow Leopard operating system. It's going to run basically a lot smoother than any Mac, and I'm going to talk about why that's the way that it runs like that a little bit later in the speech. Now, as I have said above, their computers are also a lot better. Their computers run their Snow Leopard operating system for one, which makes them already 10 times better than a PC. Their operating system is superior to any that PC can run out there, and PC, a lot of their operating systems actually try and copy. I don't copy the Mac operating system. I don't know if you've seen the old the Vista operating systems, but they have the action bar on the bottom that tries to copy the Mac operating system. Now there are a couple options when it comes to what computer you want to buy when it comes to Mac. There's the iMacs, there's the Mac Minis, and then there's the Mac Pros. The iMacs are what we would call today's all-in-one PC. It's a screen and the CPU all built in together, and all you have is a computer and a mouse and a screen. So you don't need to have that ugly tower sitting next to your computer that becomes a nuisance. And then there's the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini is an amazing little computer. It's about the size of a large external hard drive. But what you can do with these is you can connect up to 4 of them together so that you can create basically a super uber computer. And their internals aren't amazing, but together you can do some pretty high-powered stuff. The Mac Pro is what you and I would call a tower computer. It's much like a PC computer tower, except it is much, much more. The computer is basically a supercomputer. It has options all the way up to a 12-core processor, which is almost unheard of with a lot of today's PCs, unless you have some really, really deep pockets. Now, I haven't talked at all, really, about what makes their superior computers. Their operating systems is what I believe makes them superior computers. Now, as I have said above, the ones they make now run an operating system Apple calls Snow Leopard. The way the operating system works and why I love it so much is simply the fact that it's a very, very smooth running operating system. Macs are not much multitaskers as opposed to PC. With a PC, you have many, many programs running at the same time, eating up your usable memory for processing requests. With a Mac, the operating system recognizes what you're working on, and no matter how many programs you have running, will focus all of its resources and memory on processing those projects that you may be working on. The outcome of this type of processing is you have a very, very smooth running and very unglitchy computer that you can do basically anything you want with. For this reason, many music producers, if not all, use Macs with their music programs because it's smooth and not glitchy. PCs, on the other hand, have so much of their power focused on everything else that when you try and run a lot of high-powered music programming tools on there, it's going to be really glitchy and it's not going to run very smoothly. Just because they have the ability to run really, really complex programs smoothly and efficiently doesn't mean they can't run other programs either. I'm not trying to persuade you to buy a Mac just so you can do music production. Macs also can use a lot of old Microsoft's software. They make Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, everything for Mac. Or basically any of the big popular programs out there. Besides being an awesome operating system as what it performs, it's just nice for a user to get used to. Now I know a lot of PC people out there have fears that if you buy a Mac, you're gonna have no idea how to use or navigate around the computer. Macs are actually very easy to use. Most people these days either have an iPod or an iPhone. Now, when you bought that iPhone or iPod, you learned how to use it within a couple days. It's the same thing with the Mac. The way that they set up their operating system is a very user-friendly way of navigating through the computer as opposed to a PC. Sometimes it can get a little confusing depending on the operating system. Now I've told you about why their operating system is awesome. Now I'm going to tell you some practical reasons why you might want to own a Mac. First big one for me is that there are no known viruses out there for Macs as of today. Now there have been more in the past, but as far as I know of the new Snow Leopard operating system, there's only one, and it has to backdoor its way into your computer, where it's then like a Trojan virus for a PC. But if you're smart with your computer, you're not going to get that virus. Okay. Another reason you would want to get a Mac, as I said above, is because of their operating system and ease of use. For those high school students out there, most colleges these days recommend buying a Mac before you attend their college. Now, if you plan on going with a MacBook Pro, they have a battery life of close to 7 hours. If you wanted to buy a PC out there, the most you're going to get, unless it's like a netbook or anything close with processing power, as a MacBook Pro, you're not going to find a 7-hour battery life. There's no way. PCs out there, the most you're going to find is probably about a 4 or 5 hour battery life. Now, I'm going to end this speech hoping that I have opened your eyes to Mac computers and be willing to consider buying one in the near future. Now, I've told you what makes their laptops so much better. I've told you about why their computers in general are better, and I've told you why their operating systems are better. And I've told you a couple of reasons why you would want to buy a Mac. I hope I have helped persuaded you to buy a Mac, and show you a couple reasons why they are superior to PC computers.